Welcome to a brand new episode of Sequel Rights, the podcast where we take a look at the franchises that make you go, they made how many of those? And we give each and every sequel a fair trial. My name is Justin Camps, and I'm here with
Elizabeth Helly
and
Tyler Hymanson.
And we are here talking about Air Buddies. We're not even halfway through. This is only the sixth film.
God damn it.
Yeah, we've left Air Bud behind, technically.
Yeah.
But
Well,
he's still here.
We'll get into it. We'll get into
it.
it. But we have an exciting special guest with us here to share in the joy of a group of cute puppies.
Puppies.
Frank Arthur Smith is here, writer, director, actor, triple threat.
I did my own air horn. Can you believe that? Didn't pay for one.
Amazing.
Thanks for being here, Frank.
Thank you. It is a pleasure to be here, the air horn notwithstanding.
So before we get into Frank's relationship with Airbud and everything, Eliz, where can people reach out?
Yeah, that sounded wrong, Justin.
Airbud series.
Airbud series, thank you.
Yes.
Airbud is his great uncle dog.
Got it. Okay. Email us your thoughts, feedback, suggestions for the future at sequelrights@gmail.com, or you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Sequel Rights, or on our YouTube channel, Sequel Rights, where every episode ever is streaming.
Including several better movies than this one.
Oh, goodness.
But rate and review wherever you're listening. 5 stars. Do not judge this content by the quality of this film. Judge us by the content of our other terrible films.
I feel like you're already going too hard.
No. Yeah.
I mean, we'll see what's coming up next. But.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so Frank, tell us, have you seen any other previous Airbud films?
I have. I have definitely seen the original, and I think I've seen them play, baseball and basketball and football. I want to say. So I guess I've seen the first 3.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Something.
connoisseur.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
That's great.
Pun didn't come to me. I wanted so bad to be like a barkosaur. And
No.
No.
Oh, good.
A bonosaur.
So did you actually remember anything about the storied legends of Airbud?
I remember I thought Kevin Zegers was dreamy, and I was
Oh.
like, I want him to be my next door neighbor.
There we go. You are a Fram stan.
Yeah.
Is that what the kids are calling it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, the Fram family.
Fram stands.
Fram stans. All right. Well, that's great. Okay, so you actually have watched maybe more than I feel like most people have watched.
So have I watched like a quarter of the franchise? Is that right? They're like 12-ish?
There's 14.
There's 14,
Oh,
so
okay.
math.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's still quite an accomplishment.
Yeah.
Especially because we required you to do nothing other than watch Air Buddies.
And some of us
Yeah.
had seen none of them. So
Yeah.
there you go.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen a single one.
Crazy.
Yeah. No, I missed out. I was
All
like, I didn't know dogs could do that. Since when? Okay. Well, we're here talking Air Buddies this week, and do you guys want to just dive into it or what?
2006.
2006. Straight to DVD. Here we go.
Get ready for the biggest adventure 5 little pups ever had. So run, don't walk, for Disney's all-new adventure. From the doghouse to your house. Air Buddies, the all-new movie. Coming soon to Disney DVD. This time, it's all in the family.
What? This time? It's always been one family.
Time,
Well,
it's all in the
one family with multiple parents.
Right.
With a revolving door of parents.
It's giving Wonka because you would not know from the Wonka trailer, it's a musical, you would not know
Yeah.
the dogs talk
No,
from this trailer.
yeah, no.
They are
Well,
keeping it close to the vest.
Which
on
we
that.
usually, when we have a series like this, we've covered some animal series before. We usually have a bet where we count down in which.
Oh, yeah. Did we
One.
make a bet this time?
We kind of did. I think we did at the
Vaguely.
beginning. Yeah, we did. In which entry do the dogs? Do they resort to the dogs talking? And
It always happens eventually.
It always happens eventually, and this movie gets right into it.
Immediately talking dogs.
Yeah, immediately.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, when I looked at the trailers, I had 2 options. I had one that was just a bunch of, like, wee sound effects, and then the dogs talking every once in a while, and, like, or this one that had a cheesy voiceover.
Cheesy voiceover.
The one
I-
for
Much
Disney
better.
I
David
tend to
Day.
go, I tend to go with the cheesy voiceover.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
saying stupid marketing speech.
It's all in the family.
It's all from your house to the from the dog house to your house.
Oh my God. Oh goodness. Okay. So Frank, I apologize in advance for the fact that we're going to have to talk about how this movie completely abandons all sense of continuity and just completely makes up a whole new backstory for these dogs and for Airbud.
I like to pretend that this one's like one of those midquels that's like actually in between the football one and the baseball one.
No, inaccurate. Inaccurate.
That's how I'm gonna go.
Stop protecting them.
Yeah.
Okay, so just a few of
It
the
erases
things.
some of the terrible things we didn't like
It's
about
like
the
Alien
British
Romulus
kids.
Sure.
takes place between Alien and Aliens.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So,
It works in my brain.
okay, one thing that is completely retconned is that Molly, who they make it seem like Airbud and Molly had a great love story, which was not the case. They just
There was a British family.
They were just
they
around.
were owned by a white British family, and
Who
now
was this poor actress from Florida who could not pull off the accent?
yes.
Yeah. And now they are owned by a black family, which I guess is good because at least the movie has black people, which none of the past ones really did.
There was the janitor coach.
Right. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was the first movie though.
Yeah.
That was theatrical. That's a whole different thing. Okay.
There was the friend in this movie. They
Yeah,
made
so-
a half-hearted attempt.
Yeah,
to
so
have diversity.
he's a big part of the story, I guess. So Molly is now their dog.
They live literally across the street, which I also don't think was the case
No.
with the British
No.
people.
Nope, it wasn't. But hey, whatever.
They lived in a mansion elsewhere.
And then, furthermore, we already saw Airbud and Molly's puppies fully grow into adults and go live with other people
This is
and
what I'm
get
talking
kidnapped
Yeah.
and play various sports and then never be heard from again.
Right.
Sure.
Across 2 or 3 different movies. But now they're puppies again. They've
Exactly.
gone back in time.
You're
but
playing
Noah,
right. You're
the
playing right
baby-
into my midquel.
The baby Noah has gone forward in time, but the
You're right.
dogs have gone back in time.
Right.
And Josh and Andrea progressed normally and went off to college.
Right.
I kind of only care about the dogs. I don't care about.
And more
Noah.
importantly, Richard Karn came back as the dad after being gone for one movie.
Air Bud multiverse confirmed.
Yes.
I honestly almost fell out of my chair when I saw his face.
I could not believe I didn't bother to look it up in advance, and when I saw he was back, I was like, wait, did we go out of order?
No,
Like-
this is what I was losing my shit about at the end of the last episode because I pulled up the IMDb and I was like, holy shit, no way.
I wrote to myself over and over again in my notes, why do I recognize this
Oh,
person?
yeah.
Why do I recognize this
Because
person?
it's
This has like
showtime.
a legit
You were
stacked cast.
you
I
were-
was like, are you kidding me?
You
Why are
recognized
you
him
all
from
doing?
Golden Receiver.
Was this a bad time in the economy? Actually, it was. It was before Obama became president. Recession.
Right.
Okay, so
Sure.
everybody needed a paycheck, and they're like, I guess I'm doing Air Buddies.
Yeah. So yeah, those are like the main time travel issues. Also, there were 6 puppies before. Now it's only 5.
One of them died off.
There were 6 puppies of indeterminate gender. Then there were 4 male puppies or teen dogs, and then they all went away. And now there's 5 with one
Yeah.
girl.
We'll post the PowerPoint in the show notes.
There was a dead bud that we just didn't get to.
Oh,
Know.
God.
Like a zombie dog that comes out of the ground.
Okay, well, and the other thing about that trailer is this is the biggest adventure that puppies have ever had. You literally have clips of 101 Dalmatians in this movie, which is,
Yeah, but those aren't real dogs.
but that's by far a bigger adventure. But they were like, oh, it wasn't exactly 5 puppies, therefore the statement still stands.
I do like that the film presents almost like as if these puppies went on a cross-country journey, but they really only went about as far as like a child could ride his bike in 10 minutes.
Yeah, didn't they go 2 miles and that was it?
Yeah, but it's like, oh my God, they crossed the country.
Yeah, and it was
that.
never established.
Into
We've
the-
been in Fernfield for all of these movies. It was never established they had a wine country as part
No,
of the town.
No.
Yeah.
Like, so that's interesting.
We finally got to see a full Fernfield map, so now it all makes sense.
Yeah.
It's a real like Mushroom Kingdom situation where you're like, oh, I guess we just have a jungle here now. And
Right.
didn't have that climate last time.
Absolutely.
Why not?
Got rabid wolves. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. There's a full forest with wolves.
I have a feeling that I was like, because we'll get to like all the big names and stuff that are in this. I was
Yeah.
like, they must have been doing some huge push to try to like really capture home video and like reboot this like to continue on.
Because this is a significant increase like in budget and
Yeah.
star power from the previous 2 films at least.
Yeah, but still not
Richard
in,
Karn notwithstanding.
Still not in theaters though. It's like
No.
just for home video.
Well, okay, so we did talk about previously, and I never knew we were going to talk about this when we came to this series, but the Bob Chapek era of home video, before he ever was in the conversation for theme parks or for CEO of Disney, he was making this big push toward home video, and his daughter is in this movie. So Disney DVD being a brand in and of itself, he invented the Vault famously.
And luckily, he completely learned his lesson and didn't overinvest in a bunch of poorly baked IP.
Brilliant.
And you know, and he learned that lesson in 2006 with this movie. And so, yeah, it's great.
Never did anything wrong ever again.
Yeah, that's the same timeline where there are 4 babies.
Yeah.
But yeah, also, this movie, for the first time, is like branded as like a Walt Disney family home video entertainment thing, and has Disney stuff like in the movie. The other ones have not really had any reference. This one has like 101 Dalmatians clips all over this whole drive-in scene. There's Homeward Bound, Old Yeller posters, and yeah.
And if we're using the rules as established by Scream, this feels like a requel, kind of, where it's like, oh, okay, because like how Scream 5, it is Scream 5, but they just called it Scream. Like just calling it Air Buddies feels like we're starting over.
Yeah.
Like these are people you recognize, but it's its own thing now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
I did like when Richard Karn said to his son, did we just get rid of Josh and Andrea? When he's like, we're just going to get rid of the puppies. He's like, I don't know. Did we just get rid of Josh and Andrea when they went off to college? I literally said out loud, yes. Yes, you did.
And even if that wasn't the case, weird metaphor.
And it always makes me think like, wow, you're having kids pretty far apart. My good, to change a life baby here.
Yes,
change a life puppies. It's a whole scenario.
Yeah, he's actually her second husband. Josh's dad famously died in a test pilot accident.
Famously. No photos in this one.
Yeah, no photos.
We're on Dead Dad watch constantly.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah. That's
So Richard Karn is the stepfather. Well, he was after he was in the 3rd and 5th movie only, and so he's the stepdad. And so Noah, this kid, is the first child of Mrs. Fram, whatever her name is now, and
of the napkin factory fame.
Yeah, she worked at a napkin factory.
So this mom, she always looks like she's like half asleep in every role she's in. But I'm also like, I buy it. She's a mom. She's doing a lot. She's tired.
She also left for 2 movies and then came back, something like that. Yeah.
So
she's
was there
been in and out.
recasting or marriages changed and broke apart? What happened canonically?
It was the same mom the whole time. It's just these movies, I think, move at such a clip up in Vancouver with the Keystone Entertainment that if you're not available, they don't give a shit.
Yeah,
they will recast you in 1 second. So if you're like, oh, I gotta go to a wedding, or like, oh, I'm working on Supernatural or on Poltergeist Legacy, they'll be like, oh, screw you, we recast you. You want to come back for the next one? Okay.
Well, I love that they don't hold grudges in that
Yeah.
one. They're like,
Yeah,
great,
yeah.
and you're back again.
Yeah.
It's very Roseanne.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. Richard Karn, back again. Local veterinarian Richard Karn.
Yes.
That's right.
Okay, so now that we've covered all the retconning, we have to talk about...
We got
I can't even...
the buddies?
Oh, yeah, sure. Let's talk about the buddies.
Oh, you want to talk about the nanny?
I don't want to talk about her at all, but let's talk about the buddies
Let's
first.
talk about the buddies. All right, we're introduced to the buddies. We get this great, there's like a voiceover narration that turns out to be a dog talking, of course. The sheriff's dog. But we get introduced
Sniffer.
to the buddies here. We got Rosebud, we got Buddha, we got Butterball, we got Mudbud, and we got B-Dog.
Okay. Well, in the...
No, thank you.
Each
In
of
the
them
grand
plays
tradition of every movie ever, the girl one's got a bow. So, you know,
how
she's
else
the
will you
girl.
know?
Yeah.
How else will we know?
Yeah.
Rosebud, not his sled.
Yeah.
No.
Spoiling it for you now.
And there was no Rosebud joke. I kept expecting there to be like some sort of joke that someone forced in there, but there wasn't.
And I think each of them, again, are like, you know, have a sport affinity.
Yeah.
I don't remember which one is
They
which,
all
to
have
be
little
honest.
miniature balls in the one scene.
Yeah.
And then when they screw over the nanny's yarn, she happened to have a ball of yarn that was wound up to look like each different sport, which I don't know why she did that. Seems
Yeah.
like poor knitting technique.
The British are weird.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't know.
That's every kid's movie ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those are the dogs. They all fully talk.
Yes.
Yeah.
Airbud talks. Molly
Yeah.
talks. Molly Shannon talks.
She does. Yeah. They didn't have to change her name.
Molly Shannon as Molly.
And Air Bud is
Tom. What's his name?
Everett.
Tom Everett Scott.
Scott. Okay,
Right?
there we
Yeah,
go.
Tom Everett Scott, who plays a dad in a lot of roles.
He sure does. And,
He was the dad who dies in Council of Dads.
I don't even. The
TV show.
That was a thing that happened, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I worked on that show.
Yeah, you were wearing the shirt the other day.
Yeah,
that's
that's
why.
why-
That's the only reason I know
That's
it's
why
a
I
thing.
brought that up, yeah.
I just think of him as like the James Marsden of La La Land or something. You know, like I don't know, whatever.
NBC loves their sad premises for comedies.
Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah.
Dad dies first episode.
Yeah.
Well, that's Disney too, I guess. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, we see that Buddy, Air Bud, the original Air Bud, is still playing basketball. He's playing basketball with Noah now.
Yeah, I
In
feel
some
bad
sort of,
for
like,
him. He's like
elementary
old as
school.
heck, and he still has to fucking get out there on the court. Like,
When does he get to retire?
His
Yeah.
life, he's ageless. He's ageless, this dog.
true.
Till you're 90.
Yeah.
The super sports gene keeps him alive
that's
Yeah.
longer. I don't know. I did think it was funny that he was still playing basketball.
What do you guys think about the CG of?
I thought it
dog
looked
smoking.
pretty good.
Yeah, it didn't bother me.
Surprisingly good.
I also thought it looked shockingly good.
So I got the impression that in order to pitch this, like this is actually one of those things that like someone brought Chapek in and they're like, hey, we have this technology where we think we can make these dogs fucking talk and it looks pretty good and it's not that expensive. And we think we can launch an entire franchise. And they were like, you're getting promoted. How'd you like to run monorails,
like-
son?
Oh God.
I mean, I think the only one that looked bad was Sniffer, Don Knotts' character.
Right.
Yeah.
And
That one definitely looked
just
like
has
a-
more
well,
mouth to deal with.
That one looked like
Yeah.
more like this dog's just barking, and we're kind of making it look like
I
he's
think
talking.
that might have been a grudge because they wanted to embarrass Don Knotts the most for this being his last role.
Oh my God.
that's-
Okay, so
Oh,
fucked up.
gosh. What a
We-
note to go out on.
we
Oof.
famously have covered these sequels that will make some storied, just legendary actor do a horrible voiceover role, and then they will immediately pass away before the movie comes out.
Yeah,
This is like
their
the 20th
career
time
on a
it's
sour
happened.
note. Yeah.
Like
It's
it
a
happened with
thing
Jimmy
that happens.
Stewart.
Yep.
Who are the other ones?
We need to make a list. It'll also be in the PowerPoint.
Yeah, I don't know, but I was thrilled that
Leonard
like,
Nimoy?
oh yeah, Leonard Nimoy
in the
I-
Transformers.
Yeah, I was thrilled that Wallace Shawn is still alive. Okay.
Help to see the cause and effect here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, this
You
is
know.
what I've
Well,
been
this movie
reduced to.
also killed the sheriff guy,
Yeah,
the guy
the-
from Old School.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The two cops went down
Yes.
after this one.
Wow, let it be known. Yeah.
But yeah, there's a whole
Recap.
like in memory of Don Knotts and Patrick Cranshaw at the end
So
of the film.
crazy sequels kill people.
Yeah.
I know, I wrote that in my notes too. I was like, 2 in memoriams in one movie? God. Yikes.
What is the cost?
It's a lot. At what cost?
What's the cost? No.
But so I was looking at this and being like, God, they look okay. And I was thinking about it, and because you know how everybody complained about Lion King, you know, but the thing with Lion King and Lady and the Tramp on Disney Plus also is that they were like, Favreau and whoever were like, we got to make them only do what real lions would do. Therefore, they don't have expressive eyebrows. They don't open their eyes like that. But these ones, they're like, forget it. You can tell when Air Bud is raising an eyebrow and judging somebody. You can tell when these kids are like, food. You know, like they have no problem with adding
puppies
in.
are
Way
cute.
better.
Yeah,
honestly.
adding in extra eyebrow muscles to show emotion, which is 100% fine in my opinion. Yeah. Like, sure, maybe then you might lean toward overdoing it, but better that so that you can see actually what's going on.
That is what generations and generations of Disney animators have done up
Yeah.
until this
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
That is why they are beloved. Is
Right,
how
it's
you
like
can
the,
craft these expressions out of inanimate objects.
Squish and
fix it.
squash or whatever those 9 old men principles are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways,
Yeah, I thought the mouths looked pretty good.
not to throw strays at Favreau here, but you know.
yeah. I feel like when I was really trying to focus on it, it looked like they were doing some subtle things, and it looked like actually connected to the dog
Yeah.
more than I've seen in some other.
My
ones.
favorite moment was
Like
with
Beethoven.
this was it's way late in the movie. Airbud and Molly are in like a room in the wine cellar. They're held hostage, and the bad guy comes to like bring them food, and he's like, back, even though they're just standing there, they're not doing anything. And Airbud raises his eyebrow like, dude, come on. And I was like, that's hilarious.
There were a few times, like, there were a couple angles when Airbud, like, talked that made it look like he had, like, an insane jawline, like, super buff.
He would. He's the man. Okay.
But, yeah, I don't know. So what's the next thing that I texted you guys about? We get introduced to a nanny character early on in the film.
Because
I'm not saying her name.
Mary Poppins, she is not.
Yeah. And her name is...
Hello, buddy.
Hi, Mrs. Niggles.
Hi, Mrs. Niggles. If we want to go to the game, we're going to have to get by Niggles.
Oh, don't worry about them. They're with Mrs. Niggles having the time of their life. Come on, let's go.
That's what they always thought when Miss Niggles babysat us when we were little.
Okay, I had to do a super cut.
I'm so glad I'm not the only person who had that reaction.
Thank
I was
God
like, is there
you
something
did that.
wrong with me?
I was like, I am not saying my name out loud. Okay, I have
why would
Thank
they
you.
call?
I literally,
why would they give
I was
her
like,
that name?
this can't just be me who's like, why do they keep saying it?
Posted something in our Slack like, "Oh my God, the nanny's name, R.I.P." Like, it was terrible. Why?
Because even if we leave the N-word aside, it still then sounds like nipples, which is like also like what?
just
in this children's movie, like I mean, you know. Free the nipple, but like, come on, not here.
Related content. Did Rosebud have the gay connotation it did in 2006? One must wonder.
Great question.
I feel like that probably wasn't in common parlance because people still were like, "Ooh, porn on the internet." Instead of today, where they're like, "What else can you mess up for me?"
Yeah, one of my roommates is black, and I was terrified that she would come out of the room and be like, what the F are you watching? So when she came out to get a soda, I was like, hold on, I gotta show you this. And I like rolled it back and played her that scene so she could be like, what the fuck? Like,
was she also like,
no.
what?
Yeah, she was horrified. But at least she didn't think that I was watching something horrible. So
Yeah,
anyway.
it's for the podcast, only goes so far. It's for the
Right,
podcast.
right. So I gave fair warning.
Well, yeah, I was a grown-ass man watching this movie on my phone on a flight from Detroit to Los
Nice.
Angeles, so...
This guy-
It made me miss that when we first started the show, I was commuting to Santa Monica on the train often, and a lot of this terrible garbage I was watching on an iPad where there was full of the fine folks that commute on LA Metro.
Yeah, but you were watching stuff like Species 2.
It was basically
Famously.
softcore porn. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
People
boy.
thought I looked real cool.
I bet they did. Look at that guy.
Even like people honestly like watching Game of Thrones on an
Yeah.
airplane, you're just kind of like, and the nipples are freed right now, and there's a child right next to you, and
I mean,
gotta learn sometime.
if
The amount of people I've flown a little bit in the past month, the amount of people that have just fired up Challengers on the plane.
I mean, Challengers is
That
like
movie's
shockingly chaste.
if it's on the in-flight entertainment, it's fair game.
Right.
You know, it's fair game.
Their boners are covered up.
Yeah, that film was modified to fit your screen and for content.
They're actually not.
Oh, was it?
Full locker scene intact.
Hey,
Oh,
yeah.
I stand corrected.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Oh, yeah, you haven't seen it.
Still haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Oh, you're missing out.
Yeah.
No. It is a great
Someday.
sequel to Call Me by Your Name and Suspicion.
Yeah.
So you'll cover it soon.
The French woman sitting next to me who did it, after it ended, gave a giant, like, exasperated shrug, and I was like, oh.
What? Yeah, that's funny.
And then rewound it, because like, did I miss it?
So, okay,
did.
what is the plot of this movie?
Yeah.
The plot of this movie is
There's
rich
another
guys-
fucking group of villains.
for some reason,
to
Baz
bumble
Luhrmann
around.
is trying to steal the dogs.
How dare you besmirch the good name of Baz Luhrmann?
I was like, okay, I couldn't help but think that guy looked like Baz.
He kind of did, but he did not speak like him.
Yeah, I know.
Because he was supposed to be like German or something? Or
You know, the accent varied by scene. I feel so.
His character name is Selkirk. I don't know what kind
He
of.
also kind of looked like Mark McKinney.
His name is Selkirk Tander, the villain of the film.
Sure.
And he's got a nephew named Grim. Like what? What is
we've had like sparse villains, but then this one goes like too many villains because you've got like the billionaire and his son, and then you've got the broker guy, and then you've got the two bumbling.
The
billionaire I liked to imagine as being the napkin tycoon. The napkin tycoon and his son want doggies.
That's right.
Yeah,
They're not impressed by tigers. Okay, I don't give a shit. Even though that tiger was really cool looking, it was a real tiger. But
I wanted that tiger.
Yeah.
I was like, dude,
Yeah.
really? What?
oh, I
Start a
don't know.
magic act.
Yeah,
Move to
totally.
Vegas.
It's clearly not in the same. It didn't look like it was in the same room with them at all.
Yeah.
Listen, Cardi B's was on a leash during, Bodak Yellow music video, so it's whatever. Suspend your disbelief.
So this is kind of a Spy
Go
Kid
back and watch
setup.
it. It's true.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, the movie is a little bit like Spy Kids setup where like the parents get kidnapped and then the kids have to go off and find them, right? That's basically it.
basically.
And where they're helped by various celebrity cameos.
Oh my god.
Yes.
It is.
I will
it is
say-
exactly like Spy Kids, actually.
I will say for me, watching this movie though, personally, I was excited that it wasn't about fucking sports again.
Yeah, actually.
I was a little bit like, hey, I'm ready for a different story than, hey, now we play a group sport. Like,
Yeah.
It's the final game, and they've missed the first half.
Yeah, due to being kidnapped again. Yeah. No,
all
yeah,
six of their players are missing. What's
the
gonna
sports,
happen? Yeah.
the sports are there-ish, like,
Vaguely.
but-
They're like
But yeah,
peppered
there's
in.
no...
Even though Wikipedia still lists it as a sports comedy.
Does anybody
That's loose. Yeah.
remember there's a Saturday morning cartoon where a bunch of like super athletes fought crime? Like it was like Shaq and
What?
like Bo Jackson and like
What was that called?
It was
I
called-
almost envision that.
but they used like Wayne Gretzky like would like skate super fast and like get bad guys.
Is it called Pro Stars NBC?
I think
Sports?
Pro Stars, yeah.
Pro Stars.
Pro Stars. I wanted these
Wayne Gretzky
buddies.
fighting crime.
Yeah. Well, who's the lineup for the Pro Stars?
It says it centers around Michael Jordan, Bo Jackson, and Wayne Gretzky fighting crime, helping children, and often protecting the. I don't know.
Stanley Cup.
It says,
source of their
protecting the
powers.
environment. Obviously,
I
environment.
remember it having some Captain Planet vibes.
Okay.
But
Wow.
this
They'd
show.
make a show out of anything in the 90s, wouldn't they? They'd be like, a can of soup, we'll buy it.
But that show found a lot of ways to use sports talent to fight crime, and I would have liked to see some sports
Yo,
stuff.
how do you remember the show? It aired for like 3 months. it said it's September 14th to December 7th, 1991.
Okay, but did it come out on a tape that was at Tyler's local video store?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
Only 13 episodes.
Wait, what year was it?
1991.
My brain is
You're
broken.
4
I was
and you
4.
watched the show for 3
This
months.
is why
Do you
I'm like.
remember?
This is why I'm like this.
I'm like this.
It's all tracks.
Wow. Okay.
Original theme song, We Are Pro Stars. That's getting kind of close to something else. We are.
Oh.
Hey now,
Sure.
we're all pro stars.
We are. It says it was an homage to We Will Rock You, so I'm sure it's great.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, you remember the theme song,
I do.
don't you? Oh my God. We need to move on. Okay.
Sorry, now I'm interested in this.
Yeah.
So the dogs trash the nanny's yarn.
We are pro stars.
God, now I want to talk about the nanny, anything but this.
The nanny gets all tied up while she's asleep.
Yeah,
and they
I mean,
fuck
I
up
think
her pie.
it has been a while. Like, I have to
American
think
Pie style. They fuck it up literally.
Oh my God.
I'm kidding. No, that's not what happens.
All the way back to the first Air Bud, I gotta say, was maybe the last time we had like Home Alone style hijinks with. Well, I guess there was
Nope.
stuff with the
I
villains.
mean, every villain.
Super
yeah.
in the
Sports
house.
Gene.
In the house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
yeah.
the fact that you have these puppies now, like they can be out of control and they can do all this crazy kind of stuff. And I do think that this movie as a whole leaned way, way more into that and to the whole Home Alone thing than any of the past ones have.
Yeah, and it tries to re-up on the sentimentality too throughout the film, I think. More than some of the previous ones have.
Yeah, because so this yarn incident means that they're finally gonna get rid of these puppies.
Gotta get rid of these dogs.
Too many puppies.
And the only place they can go is to your friends at the school.
I mean, the fact that they raised all 5 of them already to be that old is pretty crazy. Because like, wouldn't you like have already?
I mean, Richard Karn's a veterinarian, so he's got it. He's got
so.
this shit on lock.
Veterinarian Richard Karn knows how to raise
Yeah, you're saying there's a
puppies.
limit to Richard Karn's love?
Yeah. He's got it on lock.
Yeah.
Pet home improvement.
Yeah, if I'm jumping too far ahead, feel free to edit this
No,
out.
please.
Yeah, like when they had the montage of all the dogs ending up happy at the end, I was like, wow, you just blew through 5 sequels in 20 seconds.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Leave a little to the imagination. But now that I know how loose they are with retconning, they didn't give a crap. And they're like, we'll say whatever you want.
We'll come back to that sequence later.
Also, let the indoor kids stay inside. It's fine.
No, he needs to get in the
wants to
mud.
play video games, okay?
As if he's not going to get bullied more by his dog having to play for him. I was like, this just
Yeah, that's
sealed his
true.
fate as
That's
being
true.
like dog boy or whatever.
I mean, not in this town. People love the dog playing
They do,
sports.
yeah.
Get the fuck out of here, dog boy.
I mean, we never once saw anyone go like, "Wow, you guys needed a dog to win that game, losers." They were all like, "Oh, fuck."
Oh, that's an exec note. You can never say that. Nobody can ever acknowledge that this isn't the coolest thing ever.
That dog is a crutch for you guys. Yeah.
Oh no, like on
never
Apple
happens.
shows, like you can't imply that like Apple products don't work well.
Right.
Like,
Oh,
at one
right.
point,
Right.
my friends were on a show where like the iPhone fell in the toilet, and they're like, "Oh, you can't imply that it stops working because it hits water."
Yeah.
Oh my
So
God.
I'm sure it was the same thing where they're like, "You cannot imply that dogs playing sports is somehow not the awesomest."
I think you also like you can't use it for anything other than being a phone.
Oh my god, my phone went into the toilet and now the signal's better?
It's the secret.
What an incredible product.
Not even a joke.
I know.
It's like, wait, why are there phones in pachinko? Isn't this in the wait? What?
So, so they're all mad about having to be shipped off to different random kids.
Yeah.
Even though they went through an extensive vetting process where they all went and creepily watched these kids play sports.
There's some of them. Oh, this movie has an axe to grind with vegetarians. Like, I think that it's been an ongoing thing in this series, but they're just like, oh, no meat? No, we can't.
No
give,
thanks.
No meat, no respect.
Yeah, we can't
That's
give
said
them a puppy.
later on when they break into the concession stand at the drive-thru. It's specifically veggie dogs that they get. Like they don't eat meat. I don't know if you saw, but Donald Duck was recently on Hot Ones, and he ate only cauliflower bites.
Wow.
What a legit episode! Wow, I need to go watch that.
It's actually really well done.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
So yeah, there was some thought put into let's not make these animals eat, but dogs eat meat. So I don't know.
Wait, so
You're saying that like it's a question.
wait, so the vetting was done by a vet.
My mind's like, I didn't know that's what veterinarian stood for. No.
Yeah. True.
He's really good at vetting things.
Yeah. So this kid wants his own Airbud, but then there's a whole bunch of back and forth between the bad guys over like, well, should we get Airbud? Should we get Airbud and Molly? Should we get the puppies? Should we get the puppies only? Should we get all of them? I mean, they just like cannot
They're
decide.
just like their brains do not work. There's just so much indecision with.
It's
with
all the
that.
fumes from giving gas. All the
A
time.
lot of space is being taken up by what accent am I going to do in this scene? What else is there time for?
Yeah, and then one of them is like a nepotism hire who's like the ne'er-do-well nephew, I guess.
He also just wants to play video games. Right? Yeah.
What do you think Grim is short for?
Grimsby?
Grimsby? Like his a first name? Or is that his last name?
I don't. Who knows?
Grim job.
Oh, no.
Grim Job.
Movie's just
His
full of
nephew.
puns.
His nephew Grim Job. Yeah.
I think that was a villain on Pro Stars.
They would have that name and not even think twice about it back in the day. Yeah.
Oh, someone knew what they were doing.
And their arch enemy trying to take away their powers. Prolapse.
No.
Or is that their
man.
coach who's like, I'm prolapse. Let's do that. Stop making myself cry.
Oh my god.
Horrible. So, Molly and Buddy get kidnapped. Mm-hmm. And the buddies decide that they got to go after they got to head true north. They got to go true north for some reason. I don't know why. To find their parents.
Look to the stars.
Oh, that's a Dragonheart reference.
Stars, buddies.
Yeah. Oh man.
Oh, I thought that was Lion King. Oops.
I mean, same basic thing.
Yeah.
Concept. Yeah, literally. Yeah. And that kicks off the whole adventure. They just like, then it's basically them.
The whole 30 minutes of this movie.
The whole like 2-mile trek that they go on. Multiple nights though, out in the wild.
Yes. So one of the things in the previous movie, the ice cream shop was a huge thing, and I'm pretty sure it's the exact same set as now a donut shop.
Oh yeah, we see a lot of the same locations.
Yeah, the donut shop and a pet store that happens to have a bunch of stuffed animals that look exactly like the Buddies. But yeah, I guess like they try to catch him with a donut. I don't know, like.
Oh yeah, it's on like a fishing line.
Yeah. But speaking of donuts and breakfast, one thing that you can do when you're getting ready in the morning, and one thing that I have when I get in my car to commute for over an hour to Santa Monica,
beautiful
from
Los
East
Angeles,
Hollywood,
we love
is drink a bottle of Magic Mind.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's a Magic Mind is a mental performance shot for those of you who are wondering what that is. And it's got amazing, high quality, all natural organic ingredients like ashwagandha, lion's mane mushrooms, things that help put a pep in your step for the day. Do you feel like you are more focused while you're driving? Or?
Yeah, well, it definitely kind of wakes me up, which I should be awake on the road anyway, but this helps even more. Hey, and by the time I get to work, I'm not like, as sleepy as I used to be by the time I get there.
Sure.
It definitely helps, and it gets like your metabolism going, so you're not as hungry like throughout the day. It kind of just like starts activating your body and your mind, before you really like start getting to work. And so that way, by the time I get to work, I'm not like so desperate to be like, oh my God, I gotta eat breakfast and get a coffee. I'm just kind of like, oh, I can like look at my email first and then casually go about my day.
Gives your brain room to process.
Yeah. Another cool thing about it, recently, we went to Lollapalooza in Chicago, and I put a couple of bottles of Magic Mind in my carry-on backpack. They are under 3 ounces, so there was no problem going through TSA pre-check, and I saved one until the end of the festival and had it the morning that we went back, and then kind of was able to focus on emails while we were in the lounge and on the plane all day long.
Yes, you heard it here first. It's been X-rayed, and they found nothing bad in it.
And Eli, so you've been taking it for a few months now, right?
Yeah.
Like you feeling like, that is kind of like building up and like really helping. And
yeah, and I think like the more, if you kind of get in a pattern of taking it every other day, like regularly without missing, I mean, it's just like any medication, right? So it's not a medication, of course, but it does sort of like, if you build it into a routine, it kind of like starts to work even more effectively.
It's a nice little ritual just for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why we're excited to talk to you guys about it and share it with our friends and everyone here on the pod. And we have... for all you listeners, a special deal for you guys. We've got a 20% off discount code and that you can use to get a subscription. And actually, you could get up to 48% off with this code, depending on what type of subscription you choose. And all you have to do is go to this website, magicmind.com/sequelr. That's magicmind.com/sequelr, like our podcast title with the letter R. And then when you get there and you want to set up your subscription, when you go to checkout, use the code SequelR20. That's SequelR20, SequelR20. That'll get you up to 48% off on your subscription right now. And I think we've all tried Magic Mind. It's been great, and we're for the first time using it over a little bit more of a longer period of time here. And it's been really great, and we hope you guys get a chance to get in on it too.
Yeah. It's more healthy than a donut on a fishing line.
That's right. It's not gonna get you trapped.
Yeah.
In a wine cellar.
Yeah. So the donut shop issue, and then what we get like these nets, coming down from trees.
Yeah. Right. When I saw denning up in the tree, I was like, how'd that guy get up there?
It makes me think is net setting something they teach in villain school? Because in all these cartoons and movies, it's like they got nets and that's how they get the leads, and tough crap for you. You can't get out of that net.
And they're like weighted because the dogs can't just run away with the net. It like stays.
Yeah,
there
it's like
on
a
the ground.
weird it looks like something you'd use at the beach for some reason, but it's just a net. Like, I don't know. It's one of those things that looks like, you open it up and it just flips out into a net and you'd put it on top of the dogs.
You are right, though, because in cartoons and things like that, I really did think that I was going to have to worry a lot more about nets.
Yeah,
in my day-to-day life.
that was one of those big ones. Yeah.
Well, these were all thrown over. There were no hidden ones under leaves or anything like
buy
that.
a net? Is that a thing?
Can you
Yeah,
even
you can
buy
buy
a
a
net?
net.
Why wouldn't you be able to buy a net?
Well, I don't know about
A
one that will
weighted
hold
one?
dogs,
Yeah.
but yeah.
And then they carry Airbud and Molly, and it's almost like their superpower has been deactivated. They're like, well, I'm in a net now, so I guess I can't struggle at all. I guess I'm just being carried off.
Yep.
Like, that's odd.
Well, and the funny thing is the dogs can talk now, but during this whole crisis, Airbud is never like, go home and get Richard Karn, anything like that. Like, he doesn't say anything to them. They just look sad as they drive away.
It is weird in that, like, at one point when they're with the nanny, the buddies are talking and they're like, keep it down, you're gonna wake her. And so there is the implication that if we just listened hard enough, we'd be able to hear these animals.
Or if
They're
we
just
weren't
barking,
watching a
though.
movie, they'd be going like talking to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they're just barking when they're talking. Yeah. That's what it seems like. I mean,
Inconclusive.
Are
Who
Toy
knows?
Story and Airbud in the same
universe.
universe? And are they in cahoots, the toys and the dogs?
Only Chapek knows.
They're actually part of the Planes universe. Yeah.
Ooh.
So yeah, we hit the road, and I think the first stop is a little old farm with Wallace Shawn, the goat,
Right.
Brown Phillip,
And then the brown Phillip. No, I think it was white.
he's like white with brown spots.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just love how every goat in the world is now named Philip.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then there's a pig voiced by the mom from that 70s show.
Yeah.
I saw that name. That
Kitty.
was one of those like, why is Deborah Jo Rupp in this?
Yes.
What are you doing here?
Speaking pig Latin.
Oh my God, yeah.
Oh, Lord.
That's a fun joke.
That was a joke.
The kids love.
Okay,
Kids
so
love a good pig Latin joke.
listen. I understand it's a kids movie and we need to do wordplay, but I have a bone to pick. Yes, I meant that, and it is this. This joke was worth including. Come on, let's blow this pig stand. Okay. The joke not worth including was when they're like, the paparazzi are following me. Puppy-razzi? That would have been that hard to say. Like, a pig stand wasn't beneath you, but puppy-razzi was. I was like, girl.
That's terrible.
Time for the right number of syllables. Anyway.
Yeah, there's some bad ones in here.
They do have a whole separate. Airbud Studios does have a whole separate series about dogs that go become famous in the film industry. So maybe they were saving paparazzi for that.
They wrote it down and they were like, save that.
That cannot be
Shelf
casually
it,
uttered in a
yeah.
movie. So that was actually a big reveal to me too, where I was like, oh, how am I going to watch this movie? And like, I like you all. I obviously would have paid the $1.99 to watch it or whatever. But that it was free on Airbud TV, who should sponsor this. I never would have thought that was a thing, that they're just like, that's a YouTube channel, Airbud TV.
Yeah.
Game on.
I didn't realize that's where it was. I did pay $2 or whatever
I
on
rented it too,
Amazon.
yeah.
But also, we should have talked about this earlier. I looked on my Roku like search to see if it was streaming anywhere, and it was streaming on Fossum, which is some sort of free streaming service
For possums?
For the listeners at home, the question marks are appearing above all our heads right now.
Fossum, and also Fossum Teen, which are two separate Roku things,
Okay.
tiles, and they just have like a bunch of movies that you can watch for free, I guess. I didn't actually watch it because once I started Air Buddies, I discovered that they only have the Spanish rights. Okay. But it didn't say that in like the Roku thing. So I downloaded it. I downloaded the app on my Roku. I clicked on it. I pressed play on the movie and I was like, wait, this is on Spanish. And I was like, I need to see if I can put it in English, which I could not. But the streaming service does have other movies that are in English. But they have the Latin American Spanish rights for all of the Airbud and Air Buddies series. And I thought about maybe I should just watch it in Spanish with subtitles. But then I was like, no, it has famous voices. Like,
You gotta hear the actual
So I went
performances.
and got it.
Yeah.
So yeah, Airbud TV. So you probably saw at least little like hints of some of the other studios.
I wonder if anything was different.
Which my question is which political ads were really driving home on the Earbud TV?
Let's see. I did write the ads down. Actually,
Oh, good,
'cause I was
good,
very
good. Oh, here we
fascinated
go.
by this.
Like who thought that this was the target?
So yeah, there was Monopoly several times actually, and it used generic like music that I've used as temp in my series. So I was like, oh my god, Monopoly doesn't have money either. Amazing. Yeah, there was some Hungry Hippos action.
Okay.
Because this is YouTube Kids.
So weirdly, like, but you can't
have ads on YouTube Kids.
But so I guess you could, because it also let me put it in mini player mode. So I was like, it apparently is deeming it not for kids, but it clearly is for kids. So I don't know, maybe they like ranked it young adult or something. And then one more, there was some, like, I think it advertised the other movies as well. Like, like this movie, you should watch kind of thing.
Interesting.
Okay. So very HBO style self-promotion.
Yeah, Tyler and I are still thinking about voting for Mike Bloomberg over some movie that we had to watch on Tubi like a million years ago.
Yeah, and it was just...
every commercial was Mike Bloomberg.
And it was like, there were like 3-minute blocks, and so it was just 3 minutes of the same Mike Bloomberg commercial.
Oh, dear Lord. See, he missed his window because Tubi actually has quite substantial viewership now.
Yeah. This was ages ago,
No, yeah.
So,
You know,
anyway.
If only he'd run this year, he could be like, I'll dethrone you, Kamala.
Yeah.
You just wait.
It must have been 2016. Hey, what a fun year.
You know why this movie's not for kids, you guys? Because a dog gets drunk in this movie. Okay?
That's true.
Okay, my dog has done that, though. So that resonated, I must say. My aunt put her wine glass down, and he was pretty loopy.
wow.
Yeah, it was a good time.
I was like, you brought your dog to wine country?
We were on his trip to Fernfield, and
You dumped him
He
in a barrel?
also fell in a barrel of wine and sounded like this.
That's the weirdest grape juice ever.
We recently did Planet of the Apes, in which they called wine grape juice plus when they fed it to the apes.
Indeed.
so they were on Plus before everybody else. Like, it was the plus side.
That's true.
They were.
I was just like, what are they telling that kid in the sound booth?
Yeah, which one was it?
That was Butterball that fell in.
Butterball. Okay.
Who's Butterball?
I forgot.
Do they?
The one who
I
eats
hope
a lot.
that they
So
have
the
a
one who eats a
tragic
lot also-
upbringing.
So he also
Josh
drinks
Flair.
a lot. He just puts everything in his mouth.
Yeah,
So it's good stuff, but yeah.
So now that we've come to speak about one performance, let's do the child star check-in.
Child star check, child star checking in, child star checking. They're a child star, and we're checking in now.
Okay, thank you. So for a movie that does not care at all about continuity, a surprising number of these children will be back in the future.
Oh, wow.
And so as our tradition dictates, we will not really discuss them right now, except for I've just got to talk about Alice Chapek. No, her name's Alice Finch in the movie. Her name is Kelly Chapek, who is Bob Chapek's daughter. So yes, that is her. And she will be back. She's the one who always wanted a sister. God
And
knows
I
that.
was like, a dog sister?
That line at the end, like I actually laughed out loud. I felt really bad.
I know. I wrote my
"Oh,
notes.
it's cute,
This
but
sad child.
I was like, oh, that's sad, girl.
It's very sad.
Well,
So
and
sad.
also because it didn't make it clear if she was saying that because she had no siblings or because she had only brothers like Rosebud did. You know, so I was just kind of like, ooh. Anyway, she likes to play soccer. We'll see her again next week.
And thus she should be lonely.
Yeah.
She celebrates too much.
As far as we had a great time with the actor. I want to say his name was Jake Smith, who played Noah last time.
Oh, yeah.
Was a very small child with a very large amount of lines for some reason.
Hilarious
Just screaming them. It was great. But now Noah is Slade Pierce, who has been in, a bunch of movies and TV shows. He's kind of still at it. I think he's here in LA actually. But he hasn't posted on Instagram for a long time. So I'm not quite sure what he's up to. But importantly, critically, he apparently kept Mudbud, the puppy. So a bunch of these kids were allowed to keep the puppies.
What?
Yeah.
I love that.
So
That's
I
really
take back
cool.
everything. This movie's perfect.
Noah kept Mudbud, but I hate to tell you that Mudbud unfortunately passed away in 2018. But they had many happy years together. And his name was Merlin in real life.
Oh,
That's better.
Yeah, so R.I.P. Mudbud.
They could have had a magic one.
Yeah. So
There's still time. There's still time.
the other thing is that a bunch of these kids who adopted the dogs were like not given names in the movie. So you have Buddha Kid, which is the kid that adopts Buddha.
Buddha Kid.
He's the one who loses his temper and hits his baseball bat on the ground. But his name is Jarvis Dashkiewicz, maybe.
Okay.
Anyways, he became a very, very successful rugby player all the way up through the college level and is now in business school or maybe recently
Did Buddha help him?
Probably. Yeah. That's the
Keep your
sequel
eye
we
on the
haven't
ball.
gotten yet
Yeah.
for Air Buddha Rugby.
Air
Okay.
Buddha does write it.
Yeah.
Air Buddha.
And then we have Bartleby, who is the quote unquote evil billionaire kid who is redeemed at the end.
Sure.
I was not happy that he got a dog. Sorry.
Were you not?
No.
Yeah. I mean, it was unclear as to how much him and his dad really like wanted the illegal activity to happen.
We'll put it this way. If this kid was on the Walk of Chocolate tour,
Yeah,
he'd be dead.
That's what I was. He was
Absolutely.
dead.
It is for sure.
He's a Wonka kid for sure.
And we don't care about any of those kids. Yeah.
Yeah. So Tyler
want a
Guerrero
golden puppy.
Foden, he also, I think the kid in the movie gets Butterball, right? Because he's the one that eats a lot.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. He also kept Butterball in real life.
The one that farts. The one that
Yes.
farts. We
Sure.
didn't-
We didn't really talk about that.
Yeah.
Oh,
A lot
no.
of fart jokes.
Well, we still have time. And so this kid is still out there. He's acting. One of his roles that he's best known for now is starring in the show Surviving Jack, which was a Christopher Maloney vehicle on Fox.
Okay.
With like Maloney, I think, adopting a bunch of wayward kids or something like that.
Did they
Anyways,
survive
He
him?
was one of the wayward kids. So yeah, that's what he's up to. Don't need to talk about that. Don't need to talk about that. See, a lot of these kids come back. Okay. Concession stand kid. I think number 2 is Jamie Mortimer Lamb. He was in Most Extreme, she was in Most Extreme Primate as a convenience store clerk. So a lot of big roles
Okay.
from Airbud Studios coming through.
So
Yeah.
I wonder. So we have most valuable primate is the
And then most
Vertical
vertical and
primate.
most
Most
extreme.
So what's
Vertical.
most extreme? If most vertical is skateboarding, what's more extreme than skateboarding?
I don't know. And
Cliff diving.
that is outside of our scope. Okay. We are
Cliff diving
not,
monkeys.
we are not going into the most primate series.
No, I'm so
Free-
glad you transitioned
Free
there.
climbing. Yeah, sorry.
I've been wanting to say this really badly. So
Yeah.
I have a friend who is a journalist, so I won't say her name. She'd be embarrassed that I was telling this. But she took an improv class one time where one of her sketches was called the assignment was write a parody of like an Air Bud movie.
Oh, okay.
And so her parody, like the human was the Air Bud in this world, and it was like a Planet of the Apes world.
Oh.
And so the primate had taught the human how to play poop ball. And like
Yes.
all the monkeys out, and they're like, a human can't play as sophisticated a game as poop ball.
Oh
There's
my
no
God.
way.
This sounds amazing,
That
actually.
sounds perfect.
And sure,
I'd watch it.
And sure enough, it's played by you just crap in your hand and throw it in a bowl. And her teacher was like, "This is hilarious and completely unfilmable." You know that, right? But I
For
always hope
now.
plays my heart for a poop ball.
Yeah, that's incredible. We just watched all of Planet of the Apes earlier
Yeah.
this year.
nice.
So we're in the all animal year.
The monkey snowboards.
Oh.
Snowboard. Okay, that's good. That's
okay.
good. It's got to be cold.
So we've got Mudbud Boy, which is the kid that
Mudbud boy.
he just wanted to play Game Boy Advance, but they refused to let him do so. He was in a Wimpy Kid movie.
That kid looked familiar, honestly. Like
He
I've
was
seen him.
in Black Christmas 2006.
That's probably why.
Yeah. And he is in a movie that now I'm like, I had no idea this existed, and I guess we'll probably have to cover it someday.
no.
Is The Sandlot, Heading Home, Sandlot 3.
Oh wow! I knew there was at least a second one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I knew about. But
Oh boy.
So anyway,
Eddie, no.
and then it's not like you don't already know her, but Abigail Breslin is here just for one movie, to
Oh,
be
wow.
Rosebud, voice of Rosebud, but she's like red hot in 2006. Okay,
Yeah.
this is the year of Little Miss Sunshine and Santa Claus 3.
Dang.
So it's like, wow.
That's why she doesn't come back.
Yeah.
That's her year.
Yeah. And Air Buddies, come on. Okay.
Amazing.
So as we know, she goes on to be in Scream Queen, Zombieland, and lots of other TV and film. And then finally, Spencer Fox, the voice of Mudbud. He is the original voice of Dash in The Incredibles. Of course, was not asked back for 2 because he was an adult by then. And he has done like a lot of music videos. He was in a Father John Misty music video, which I know you guys like that person. And he is the guitarist for a band called Charlie Bliss.
Oh, nice.
So, and in all of their music videos. So that's
They
what he's
just
up
played
to.
in LA like this week or something.
Yeah, there you go.
They have a pretty decent new album.
So everybody else, including the Superman kid,
Skylar
Skylar
Gisondo.
Gisondo, they'll all be back. So we don't need to
wow.
talk about them this
Sweet.
week. So that is the end of the Child Star
Olsen
Check-in.
himself.
Jimmy Olsen.
Olsen, that's what I was like. What's his name? Jimmy Smith? No, that's not right.
Jimmy
Yeah,
Smith?
Jimmy Smith. Yeah.
Yeah, the concept art just came out today, and then I was like, oh, it's just him in a different shirt.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was expecting,
He looks
because
the
obviously it's a
same
human
as-
character.
Right,
but like,
right.
I was like,
So
sure.
he'll be back for more Air Buddies fun, and he is B-Dog.
Oh, he sure is.
Dog.
Watch Santa Clarita Diet. You'll forgive him. He's great in that.
Okay.
And Righteous Gemstones.
Oh my God, yeah. So funny in that movie. I mean,
Oh,
TV show.
and Wet Hot American Summer 10 years later.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I think he's funny. I
Yeah.
like
He's
him.
very funny. He just has a face that's funny. Like, at no aspersions. Like, just like you want to laugh at him in a good way.
Yeah. What else? What else is even? Is that the rest of the? That's all the kids.
That's all the kids. I did want to say too that thankfully this movie did not kill Michael Clark Duncan. He still
I was
has
gonna
6
say
more
we haven't
years of
even
life.
talked about him yet.
Yeah. Because when I saw him in the credits, I was like, oh my God, like what? Did this movie kill him? And then I was like, oh, thank God, no.
What
He's got 6 more
cost
years.
this
Yeah, 6 more years.
He plays a wolf in this one.
Which honestly, like,
I think
he
it was
just
a real
has such
wolf.
a great voice. I was like, wow, he really did a great job. But then I thought about it and I was like, that's just his normal voice.
Yeah,
Like,
he doesn't have to say much.
He
yeah.
really, all of the celebrity cameos, they did, less than half a day, I think, in the booth.
I think you're right. I respected that part more before I knew it was him, and I was like, oh, well, that's just how it talks. Like, that wasn't an effort for him.
Yeah.
I actually thought that was really playing against type, though. Like, oh, the wolf is nice. I really appreciated that choice
Right.
Yeah.
dramatically. But also is very, if you've seen X-Men Days of Future Past, very Quicksilver, like, well, I wouldn't want to help with the plot, so I'm just going to go now.
I don't need your help. I'm fine. Bye.
Oh, but we really okay, bye.
Yeah. He took him to a wine country.
He howls with them at the end.
He did, yes. Yeah. Oh my God. So that brings up an interesting point, is that this is the first time of any of these movies that I think that any dogs have been in the most like mortal danger, honestly. Because even the other like plots to steal Air Bud, like nobody ever came close to like actually getting killed or dying, and when these little puppies are in the woods, like the wolf could kill them. Like he doesn't, he ends up being nice, but I was like, wow, this is like by far the most dangerous thing that we've seen.
And I gotta say, again, I know I said this earlier, I was just like, I was getting a lot out of just seeing the dogs do anything other than bounce balls around. These dogs are like jumping
Or
over
hit balls,
things. They're
rather,
like
yeah.
swimming around. They're falling in vats of wine. They're doing things.
They're sliding down a dirt hole.
I mean, it literally looks like, yeah, that was also kind of funny. It literally looked like those kids actually pulled that puppy out of in the shot. Like, I don't know. They actually put that dog in there.
So how many dogs were used? Did you look it up?
No.
10 dogs were killed during
Well,
the
at least
dogs.
3 were. Don't joke about that because that's next week.
Oh no!
You're covering luck.
Oh no! It doesn't say on the
Okay.
Wikipedia how many.
But yeah, I mean, at least 3, if we know 3 of them were adopted by the children in the film. So
It's got to be a bunch of dogs.
Yeah.
A bunch of fucking dogs.
What's a typical number for how many actors per like dog character?
usually
Four
5
or
for 4 or 5
Really?
for just
Wow.
Air Bud.
Oh shoot. Okay.
We didn't even. A lot of times the kids weren't even credited separately because they were just other Air Buds with different shirts on.
Yeah.
In the one where they were grown up.
Okay.
Because it was like each dog was good at doing a specific thing.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
So that might be the case here too. I don't know.
Do you think the older brother's still driving that cab?
Yeah. Still driving that.
Actually, I worked on a show
Josh
where
Fram.
they had twin girls, human girls. Don't get excited.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was sort of it. Where they were like, one was very like joyful and good at the comedy, and the other one like cried a lot. So they'd use her for the dramatic stuff.
Oh my god, that's incredible.
Oh my god, this
They
kid's
found their
incredible.
niches right away. Literally, they're like,
The
she's
range.
so sad all the time.
That's why we were so shocked that the kid in the last movie wasn't twins, because he was in a lot of the movie, but it was just one kid.
It sounds like the vibe of that kid is that he wandered onto set, was not supposed to be in the movie, and they were just like, oh, he's still here, get him in there.
It was great.
It might have been. Sometimes when you're on set and it's late night, you're like, someone's eager. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah. Well, what else do you guys want to talk about? Otherwise,
I mean,
Not much.
I can move us.
Oh, talk about the music.
I was gonna ask you guys. Did you did any of the did the movie end up on an island?
What?
Did the movie end on an island?
Yeah,
No,
it might have.
it did not.
It might have.
Or
It ended with a howl similar to the Midnight Bark from
Oh, okay.
101 Dalmatians.
Was the main focus of the movie like baseball?
No.
Oh, okay. Was there ever a dog in the dugout?
Maybe, but no, I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Well, I'm just asking because for some reason the fucking movie ends with a long montage to a fucking white guy singing a Caribbean song.
Oh boy.
It was like trying to give like "Don't You Forget About Me" to the end of Breakfast Club, and I was like, this song isn't the same.
You guys want to hear
Like,
it?
Yeah.
Sure.
You want to hear the
Here's
whole?
clip.
I think everyone wants
You
to hear
took the whole thing?
entire song.
Oh god.
It's gonna get stuck in your head. I'll tell you that. My favorite part is coming up. All right, here we go. Ready? Yeah, man. The rhyming, it's so terrible. It's so terrible.
One wrist the ball.
I'm so mad at you.
Everyone else has to hear it.
It's not the size of the puppy in the game. It's the size of the game and the puppy.
That's right, audience.
So wait, this guy's white?
I'm assuming he's what? I don't know.
You didn't look it up?
No.
Okay.
His name is just like Brian.
No,
I
it's
don't know.
straight from
it's like
Adrian
Tom Smith.
Brody's
It sounds
one
like a
SNL
white guy
appearance.
doing a fake Caribbean accent.
And this wasn't the song written by AI.
Yeah.
Sadly, no.
It does sound like it. It was. I mean, it's got to be trying to do Who Let the Dogs Out, right? That's the point of this.
I guess it's just so bad.
It's really
so bad.
So that's where the budget was not spent. I actually think on the whole it doesn't look like a cheaply made movie.
No.
One place where it did look that way though was when they were doing the miniatures of the town, and I was like, you really couldn't afford a drone? Like you spent on so much else.
Well, because probably the town doesn't really look like that at all.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it was really the CGI budget, not the drone
Yeah.
budget, that was the limiting factor. You're absolutely right.
But you know where they did kind of put a shockingly large amount of money was the stunt of the whole wine spillage at the end, like with those two guys flying out in the wave of wine. I was like, oh my god, I can't believe it. Like,
Here, look, this is Brian Hoot Gibson. I know you can't see
oh
it,
my god,
but it's like an old white.
wow.
for everyone to see. There he is.
He's
right
the singer of Doggy in the Dugout.
Yeah.
Kind of looks like Dave Thomas of Wendy's fame.
Yeah, a little bit.
Actually.
I thought it was that your scene you're talking about with the flood of wine. It looked like a comical amount of wine coming out.
Right, yeah. Like I was just
like The
surprised.
Shining with wine.
I was like,
Yeah,
there's
the
water work
lining.
in this. There's like a real stunt. Like, so I don't
Here's
know.
another question I have. In that ending montage, they show the kid that's playing baseball, right? Mm-hmm. They show that the dog that went with him. Which dog went with him? Was it
Buddha.
Buddha? Buddha is playing baseball as well, holding a catcher's mitt, which I don't think we ever saw.
Nope.
And also, like his owner kid is at bat, and he's the catcher. So does that mean he's playing for the opposite team?
He's playing against
He's playing against.
It's
He's playing
T-ball.
against him.
You
but
know, in
giving
T-ball,
him-
like a lot of times you have like your coach is the
Nope.
pitcher, the catcher. Like there's a whole
I was
thing.
like, this doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
guess they wanted him to be close by. but
Buddha's a traitor.
Buddha's already playing for the other team.
Airbud was always a first baseman. Remember?
That's right.
True.
That's right. We do see another dog like swing the bat like they did in
Yes.
seventh inning fetch, which was hilarious.
Oh my god.
Oh, I like that pun. That's okay.
Oh, speaking of these puns, I need to issue a correction. Justin very, very forcefully
Oh, yeah.
maintained that Airbud did not ever spike back.
Yeah.
And I said that he did because I was thinking of a different scene in which he blocks the ball with his fake paws. And I said I was pretty sure he spiked back, and I was wrong. We sat and rolled the footage immediately after recording the episode, so I'm now issuing a correction.
Thank you.
We
I
regret the
appreciate
error.
Indeed. I wish we recorded it because Justin stood up and he was like, see, he doesn't fucking
In your
spike.
face.
I told you he never
He
spiked
never
back.
spiked, even though that was the title of the movie.
The title of the movie is Airbud Spikes Back, and
Yes.
there was no
He
spike.
never
There was no,
does
he
it.
never
No.
spiked.
No
He never
one spikes in the
fulfills
movie.
the promise. Yeah.
Does he even golden receive once in the football movie?
Yeah. That was
think he
actually
does.
one of
I
the
think he
better
does.
puns because he was a receiver, right?
I mean, depends on your definition of
I'm
golden
mad about
receiver.
watching that movie because now, like, every time I type golden retriever, I'm like, is it receiver? Or There's a part of my brain that goes like golden retriever. No, retriever. Yeah. Well, you guys,
That was a blast.
Oh my god!
He was there too.
that was a
Hey, is that
blast.
Peter Dinklage in Wicked?
That's amazing. Tyler, you got a rating system for us?
How many impossibly large drums of wine would you give?
I think they're called barrels.
It's not even a barrel though, because like there's it was bigger
vats
than a
of
barrel.
wine?
Oh, you're talking about the vat.
Vat,
Oh,
yeah, it's a
okay.
vat.
The
How about
barrels
vats
that
of
they were
wine,
running
yeah.
in.
Yeah, no. How
Okay.
many comically large vats of wine would you give Air Buddies?
Oh boy, I can go first. I feel like I don't know. I didn't think this movie was that bad, to be honest. Like I said, I was excited to see a new story, something different than just learning another sport, because it always felt like it felt like the villains were super shoehorned into that, and it was boring. I was tired of it. It was like all the sports ended up being the same. Many of them were the same in the end. So I was excited to see something where like at least the villains like contributed to the plot more. They were still annoying, but at least it was like more about that whole thing. And I thought the puppies were cute. And you know what? I will also say that out of all the movies we watched so far, this is the one that my daughter wanted to watch multiple times, and she was like the next day, like, we didn't finish Air Buddies. We gotta watch the Buddies. Can we watch Air Buddies?
There's some kind of secret magical spell in
Yeah,
it.
so
isn't there?
I think they nailed it with the puppies. She doesn't care about a grown adult dog doing tricks.
sports.
Yeah. The puppies though are cute, and okay, the jokes are horrible and eye rolly, but like it's inoffensive, and I bet that
Did your child laugh at the jokes?
No, she just sat there like but she wanted to watch them later. She doesn't get the jokes. But I bet you that there are a bunch of kids out there that are like, this is one of their like favorite movies from growing up or something.
I mean, it had to have some level of success to inspire, this many more
million
sequels.
more Buddies
yeah.
movies.
It must have been popular.
And so I think I will give it either the same, maybe I'll give it 4 vats of wine, incredibly comically large vats of wine.
Okay.
Which might be more than I gave the first movie.
Yeah.
Oh God, I don't even remember. I'm gonna I think I was charitable toward the first movie because I knew we had so far to drop. But this one was shockingly good. I mean, I think I'm gonna
Come on,
have to give
Tyler,
it,
get on board.
okay, so I'm gonna give it 5 vats of wine because it was just better than I thought. If you can just like, you really do have to accept it as just a complete retcon, which I know we don't normally go for, but you know, it just, I feel like somebody felt that it had to be done, you know, like we must do it, you know, and so they did it.
My parks promotion depends on it.
Exactly. I do think that the CG is actually shockingly tolerable. This is from somebody who's like always weirded out by the uncanny valley or whatever. I thought it was actually looked okay. And mostly is because the story is actually an emotional arc that makes sense for the dogs and for multiple characters, like including the kid. Whereas that has not been the case. Like there was whole movies where Air Bud had no arc for himself, and the human child's arc barely made any sense. Why are you laughing so hard? It's because I'm trying so hard to
Because he loves this movie so much.
I just had the dumbest thought. It's not even that funny, and I don't even think bring it up. But when you said you always had a problem with the uncanny valley, I was like, I would love to watch a movie where they.
Oh my god, he's speechless.
Where they train Tom Hanks' character from the Polar Express to play basketball.
He cannot. He
Put
would have
that
dead
hot
eyes.
chocolate down, sir. It's time for basketball.
You look so weird in that movie.
He's just following around. He's like, oh my god, like the train conductor can play basketball.
Who knew?
Oh god. Okay, that was wildly off topic.
You unlocked the full Uncanny Valley universe.
Yeah. But I do like that they put a little bit more money to like get some, you know, more well-known actors and to bring back, you know, it's so crazy that they bring back Richard Karn. I know, like, I mean, it's like, can you imagine, like,
bonus vat for Karn.
If Don Cheadle was so mad about Secret Invasion that he just left, and then they brought Terrence Howard back, like that would be insane. We would be like, everybody would be going crazy. So yeah.
Terrence Howard's too busy being a mathematician.
Okay.
They told him, like, Karn, you got to do one pratfall in a bunch of yarn, and that's it.
Yeah.
And then you're out of the movie. You're done.
Can we rename it a Karnfall?
Karn.
Sure we can, bud. Sure we can.
Favorite content creator.
So what was your? What was
I
the
gave it
number?
5 vats.
Wow.
Five
Okay.
vats.
Go ahead, Tyler.
Yeah.
Okay, I know we are going to only be able to descend from here. So I'm going to. I bet.
You better hope not.
I bet
You've been
one.
so mad.
I bet one of the weird ones I'll like. I bet I'll like Space Buddies for some
okay.
dumb reason.
I mean,
But-
you may like it more when they just let go of reality.
Yeah, I'm gonna give this 3
Space.
comically large vats of wine. Maybe it's because I was watching this on my phone on a plane, and so there was no multitasking, and so I was trapped.
Can't look away.
I was trapped in the air with this movie,
yeah.
and
Trapped in the air, bud.
Yeah, trapped in the air.
Buddies.
Snakes on a plane with airbuds.
Air Bud flies a
Here for
plane.
it.
Yeah.
So I was just mad at it, and no,
Fair.
didn't do much for me.
How about you, Frank?
Honestly, I went in with like so low of expectations that like any little thing they did, I was like, oh, they planted that in advance. Oh, that character has an arc. Oh, that joke could have been worse. I think 7 out of 10 vats of wine for me. And not only that, but they also had like homages to other movies I liked. Like when they were throwing the popcorn at the villain suspended in front of the movie screen, I was like, very Scream 2. I see why that is a believable scene now that they got murdered in plain sight.
Yeah, that's great. All right, 7. That's awesome. I was not expecting anything higher than like.
Let's blow this pig stand.
Our guest,
Wait, I take it back.
our guest always has more room in the rating system because they don't have to rate all the other movies.
That's totally
They haven't
true.
been hurt before.
I only got to be hurt this once, and I get to live my life. I get to blow this pig stand and move on.
All right, well, I think that's going to bring us to the end of Air Buddies. We got more coming for you guys soon. But Frank, thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you. It was a pleasant hour and a half on the elliptical on Airbud TV. So.
Yes.
Ooh, yeah. Tell us more about your work and what you're up to.
Yeah.
Yeah, so weirdly, actually, this is in the realm of stuff I do. I mostly write for kids' TV, but Love of My Life is a very adult gay comedy series called Open to It. It's about a couple experimenting with an open relationship. It's silly and sexy, and you can watch it at opentoitseries.com for only $1.99. You could buy Air Bud for that, or you could buy my show for that. Your choice.
Yeah. Every episode?
Tons of episodes? Yeah.
That's an hour and a half of content, 6 episodes. You could also do a free trial of Out TV on Amazon, but don't do that. Give the money to the filmmakers. What does Bezos need money for? Come on.
Well, that's great. Where else can people follow you?
You can follow me at frank.arthur.smith on a bunch of platforms and at Open to It Series also on said platforms. And it should be said, my TikTok is mostly animal content. In fact, it's me personifying the turtles who live in a pond near my house. So
that's
enjoy
great.
that. Yeah. Sequel's forthcoming.
Heck yeah.
What sports do they play?
Nothing, then forget it.
No, they just have relationship drama.
Oh boy.
Okay. You need to do an Air Bud inspired episode. Yeah.
AI will help me make the turtle trail.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, good news, you guys. Good news. Hey, there's more. The buddies are back 2 years later for Snow Buddies. They took 2 years.
Not to be confused with snow dogs.
Yeah, no. They took 2 years to be like, how are we going to put the buddies in the snow? How are we going to do this? That's how long it took.
Don't joke around about it too much, okay? I've done a little research in advance. It's not going to be the most happy of episodes.
So is it Snow Buddies Night Country?
Oh, God.
Well, she made it sound like all the dogs die or something.
There's no way.
Oh, no.
That movie is repeated. That joke is repeated 20 times in the movie.
Oh, man. All right. Move on. We'll see you in a few weeks.
We're going to, oh my God. Well, now I'm scared.
Yeah.
I thought they
too.
were cute.
You should be.
Oh, I'm actually terrified because just looking up Snow Buddies.
Spoilers.
Don't look it up.
The
Ignorance is bliss.
All right.
Snow
Yeah.
Ridge is
I
not
haven't clicked on it yet, but I see one name.
Don't do it. Okay. Go ahead.
That's it. We got Snow Buddies coming up next time. Thank you guys for being here with us to talk Air Buddies. Thank you to Frank Arthur Smith for being here. And before we go, Eliz, where can people reach out?
sequelrights@gmail.com and Sequel Rights on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube.
And rate and review us wherever you're listening. Feed those stars to the algorithm so other people can find us out there on the intranets.
That's right. And we got to send you guys out with a brand new AI song every week. We used to use music from the movies, but, we started feeling bad about that or whatever. So here's a brand new AI song. And that we were so excited that Richard Karn was back this episode. So obviously the song is all about that. You'll hear it. You'll love it. Thank you for returning, Richard Karn. And we'll see you guys next time for Snow Buddies.
It's a sunny day, hip-hop sound their way, but there's something special making this film slay. You can feel the hype, yeah, you know the name. Richard Karn is back, and it's not a game. Fuck yeah, Richard Karn is back. In Air Buddies, he's on the track. You know it's gonna be a blast. When the legend's here, the fun's gonna last. He's the man, the myth, the face you know. Timeless like the tools in a handyman show. From home improvement to this doggone fun, Richard Karn's back and the party's begun. Fuck yeah, Richard Karn is back. In Air Buddies, he's leading the pack. With his charm and his smile, there's no turning back. When Karn's in the mix, it's a full-on attack. Puppies and laughs, adventure in the air, but it's Karn's cool presence that makes it so rare. He's the dad, the friend, the guy you can trust. When Richard Karn's here, it's a must, it's a must. Fuck yeah, Richard Karn is back. In Air Buddies, it's no sidetrack. The movie's got heart, and that's a fact. With Karn in the scene, it's a hit, no slack. So raise your hands, let's cheer and shout. Richard Karn is back, there's no doubt. In Air Buddies, he's stealing the show. Fuck yeah, Richard Karn, let's go, let's go. Fuck yeah, Richard Karn is back. Yeah, he's back. Fuck yeah, Richard Karn is back. Oh, he's back. Fuck yeah, Richard Karn is back. In Air Buddies, he's got